Hey, what's up, everybody? So, as the title suggests, I'm going to be going over the what I built, why I built, and how I built a Warmoth guitar. So, this is not 100% Warmoth, though it is pretty much. I got a fully customized Warmoth neck and a showcase body that I did get to customize a little bit. I think the only thing I got to customize actually is the controls. I wasn't able to add the 9-volt battery route because they don't do that with showcase bodies, just a heads up. And it already had the contoured heel, the 2 humbucker route, and the Floyd Rose route. So that's what I'm building. Now I'm going to move on to the why. So a long time ago, I was a young sailor stationed in Japan. And I had some money coming off of my first deployment. So I bought a really nice guitar, had it shipped home, and then I went home, played the guitar for a couple weeks while I was there. My dad and I both fell in love with the guitar. It's absolutely amazing. It was a Paul Reed Smith Torero. So if you don't know what a Torero is, it's a Paul Reed Smith 3-piece neck through EMG 8185 and the Floyd Rose 1000. A little bit far from the norm. They didn't sell it for very long. It was kind of a, we're going to build this many, sell that many, and that's it. Didn't really take off. It's not really what you're looking for when you look at Paul Reed Smiths. So, yeah, I shipped it back to Japan with me, and when I got off the plane, it was absolutely destroyed. So I went through the whole insurance claim, and took about 8 months, but I got my money back. Didn't have to send them the guitar, which is pretty cool, but it was absolutely destroyed anyway. So I took all the screws, all the parts, the electronics, the pickups, the Floyd Rose, the nut, absolutely everything off of the guitar, and I put it in a bag. And it's been in that bag for about 7 years. So I've been looking at Warmoth for a long time, doing some research, seeing exactly, learning what the guitar was. Since it was a one-off deal, it's hard to find the specifics of the guitar. Some websites say one thing, others say another, and it's kind of a pain. So it took a long time, but I finally saved up the money, bought the neck and body, and here I am putting it all together. I'm just putting in the copper shielding right now, and I put the little foam pad for under the Floyd Rose. Almost unnecessary, but the shielding as well. Having good electronics, being a Paul Reed Smith guitar, it's also almost unnecessary, but to be honest, the copper looks really nice with that vintage tint. So next, I'm adding the bridge studs. I had to buy new studs because the old ones were a little cracked up and threaded from trying to get them out of the old body that was destroyed. So using a drill press, if you just open it up, so it's the same diameter or the whole circumference of the top of the stud, and then you slowly push it down in. Once you get it started, it'll slide right down because it has the little ridges on the side. It helps it go straight down and flush real easy. So both of them went in really easy. You can see at the beginning there, I did try to use a block, but obviously that's only going to go to the it's only going to go flush to the top of the body and not flush to the bottom of the route. Using a drill press is really the easiest way to do it. If you don't have one, there's a lot of people with drill presses. It's just the easiest way. Using a hammer is, I would say, not the greatest idea. So next thing I did was I used the bridge to level off the pickups so I could mark the holes for the pickup rings. And I actually did this wrong, and you'll see it becomes very obvious in a minute, but I put the 81 in the neck and the 85 in the bridge, the taller pickup ring being the 81, since it was originally supposed to go in the bridge. See, it's much taller, as you can tell right now. So I put those in backwards, though they're supposed to be backwards. It's supposed to be 85 in the neck, 81 in the bridge. I did 81 in the neck, 85 in the bridge. It's supposed to be the other way around, and for some reason I didn't realize it. Even right here where I try to put the marker down, doesn't go the whole way down. Like, that's a tall pickup ring. Let's just grab a little scratch tool and poke a hole instead of using the marker. I still didn't realize that I had the pickups backwards. I don't know what I was thinking. Not a big deal. These are plug and play pickups, so all I had to do was do a full dive on the Floyd Rose, so the strings are out of the way. After I unscrewed the pickup ring, pull the pickup out, unplug it, switch it, screw them back down. But it did take until the end to figure that out. And off camera, you can see that I added the volume and tone. I just put them in there. I hadn't soldered anything down yet. And the 3-way blade and pickup selector switch. That's all it came with originally, and so that's what I configured this custom body to be. And this is also a lesson learned. I was getting too hyper doing this. I wanted to go ahead and get everything screwed together, so at this time I didn't have the neck, but I was still rushing. See the body sliding around just a little bit. See, it was a little hard to get out, and then I had to put, I guess that was off camera, but I did have to drill the hole again because it was sliding, and still worked real good. Probably should have clamped it down, mark the hole first, but it holds my strap and it serves its purpose. It looks pretty centered. And the back one went in a lot easier because I was holding it a lot tighter. Alright, and then I'm just using a 1/16 inch drill bit, drilling the 8 holes for the pickups. And they're plug and play, as I said, so I put them in. You can see right here, definitely with both pickups right next to each other, that the taller pickup ring is in the bridge, or sorry, in the neck, and the shorter in the bridge. Alright, a lot of off-camera soldering was done and wiring, just because I'm bad at it, but a lot of this, as I said, plug and play. Same with the volume and tone potentiometers. The only thing I had to solder was I put a new capacitor on it, a 0.47 UF capacitor. Plugged into my amp. Let's turn it on something gritty to get a lot of noise out of it. We're gonna do a tap test. Oh, there we go. It's on bridge. I don't know why I messed that up. It's on bridge. It works. Both. It works. Neck. It works. Wow. All right, some more off-camera stuff that happened was I used a bubble level and turned the neck upside down, put the shelf on the glass table that I'm using, and since all the the tuning keys are on a curve and they're not symmetrical, there's nothing symmetrical about this head. I just had to kind of slide them in there, make them flat, and then tweak them from there and poke the hole or drill the holes while they're there. And then once they're drilled and screwed in, it's pretty permanent. So I did do a lot of, as I said, off camera, making sure it's absolutely perfect before I use a marker and mark the holes, and especially before I drill. Alright, I just put on the R4 nut. I went for not just the shelf, but the whole R4 nut prep, so I could use the screws, or the bolts that hold it through the back instead of gluing it down. Even though this isn't the Paul Reed Smith guitar, I used the original Paul Reed Smith truss rod cover and put the stickers on the back, just as a nice little touch. Next, I'm putting on the neck. I don't really show it very well right now, but at the end you'll see the beautiful grain of the Kingwood Fretboard. I got the contoured heel, so if you do get that, keep in the back of your mind, you're going to have to get two shorter neck bolts or neck screws. They're like 10 millimeters shorter. I did forget to order those. One of my many mistakes on this build. But I found one at a local hardware store that was still a little bit too long, so I bought a spacer for behind the neck plate. That was good to have anyway, I guess. But it raised it up that extra almost millimeter, really. And then the final off-camera thing that I have to do is, well after this, all the intonation and the initial setup, because I did replace a couple of the screws in the Floyd Rose, and there was a lot to do. If you have any questions, definitely ask me. The initial Floyd Rose setup is a pain, but in the end, this was all worth it. The hours of work, tons of research, and then the intonation and all that. It's all worth it in the end. This is a beautiful guitar, my favorite guitar ever. Not just because I built it, but because Warmoth gives you something that no other company does, and it's freedom to have exactly what you want, no matter why you want it that way. It's just an amazing company. And the attention to detail, I don't get too close to any of that in this video, but just every little detail. There's no scratches in the finish. Everything was packaged like just great. I don't want to get too into it, but the detail in this, they make sure to get the nicest looking piece of wood and sand every edge down to a small curve. Alright, so final part of the video, I'm going to show you the finished product and what I had to do to set this up with slightly incompatible parts. So to start, I wanted to change to a longer block. I had the 35mm block and the springs were rubbing up against the bottom here. I also changed the anchor plate to something brass. And I have 3 noiseless black springs coming. Added this guy on the back of the neck right there. If you can see it or know who that is, leave it in the comment section. All right. Next, I did the truss rod, made sure the fretboard was absolutely flat. Of course, absolutely necessary. But even after that, all 6 of the strings were laying on this first fret. I know they're a little bit high, being the 6115s or whatever. So I did add a 0.5 shim down here at the back of the neck pocket. So ½ millimeter. And then under the nut, I have a 0.1 and a 0.2, I believe, or a 0.2 and a 0.3. So another 0.5, or no, sorry, 0.3 total under the whole nut. And then over here, I have an extra little chunk of a 0.1. So 0.5 under the whole thing, sorry, 0.3 under the whole thing, and a 0.4 under the bottom 3 strings. I also added a string retainer, and well, let's hear how it sounds. All right, since my video cut me off, we're gonna start with something clean. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Switch to some distortion. No noise. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's switch back to some clean and see if it's still in tune. It's a little bit fun. Yeah, it's still in tune. Looks like it's gonna be a fully functioning guitar, which is great. Well, if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to know why I built this guitar this way, or how I did it, have any questions about intonation or shimming, which I guess I know a lot about now, definitely send me a message, leave a comment below. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.